G'day, welcome back to another episode of Larrikin Japan. So today I'd like to have a talk about why a lot of people who come to Japan to work are so disheartened and complain a lot about it and everything. I think the main point is it comes down to they don't have any money. Now, they come over here, they get a job as an English teacher, and a lot of them will get like ALT jobs, so you're an assistant English teacher in a school. These are all done through dispatch companies. I was just having a look then. Now, dispatch companies are paying for ALTs between 200,000 and 250,000 a month. That's like Australian 2,000 to 2.5 grand a month. Now, with that, you have to pay taxes and everything, your rent on an apartment, which could cost you 50 to 70,000 yen, I suppose. And then you got food and electricity and gas and everything. So by the time all their expenses, you know, tax, healthcare, all this sort of stuff, by the time they've paid all their expenses, they're not left with a real lot at the end of the month. So, you know, they can't really go out to eat much. They can't go out drinking and having, you know, doing what they want to. They're sort of stuck at home. So I think this is the main problem. Now, like when I come 30 years ago, you could make a good living teaching English. I did. We built a house and paid it off, all from teaching English. You know, back then, you know, I was making 300,000 a month every month. Now, in summer and that, summer, spring and winter, they pay you a percentage of your salary. So August, they don't do any work in August. They don't go to school. They get like 40% of their salary. So, you know, for 200,000, they're getting about 80,000 yen. So they go back to work in September, they get paid their August salary in September, and they get 80,000 yen. They're flat out paying their bills. They couldn't pay their bills with that money. So this is a big problem. You know, like I was saying, I was making, you know, 300,000 a month, 12 months of the year. It was the same salary. Even when I wasn't working, when I was on holidays, I was getting the same salary. So it wasn't bad. Then I was picking up some company work, teaching at companies. Back then you could get 4,000 or 5,000 yen an hour teaching at a company. A company class would last 2 hours, so you get, you know, 80,000 or, you know, yeah, you could do pretty good. You get 8,000 or 10,000 yen for your 2 hours plus transport. It wasn't too bad. So, you know, you do a couple of them a week or something. And then I was teaching English at home. I had a lot of students who come to home. I used to run that like a bit of a business. I used to pay tax on it, and I used to have to claim all everything through my tax at the end of the year. But, you know, we made pretty good money. I was making pretty good money. You know, I could get a loan from the bank in my name, and we paid it all off, and no problem. But now you couldn't get a house loan. You couldn't buy a house on what they're paying you, you know. So a lot of these people are really distraught, you know. They just can't make ends meet. I was looking at it on Reddit this morning. This guy, I think he's young by the way he was writing, and I think he's from Europe because he was talking about euro, you know. So he said he was an ALT working for a dispatch company, so he didn't have a lot of money, so we can understand that. And he was saying he wanted to get a haircut. He'd been here for 3 months and hadn't had a haircut. So his hair was getting long and he wanted to get it cut. He'd been checking out, and to go to a hairstylist and have your hair cut was going to cost about 4,000 yen. So he didn't have 4,000 yen. So he found a barber who could cut his hair for 2,000 yen. So I think this guy really liked his hair and, you know, like always had it styled. He was talking about a barber he went to who styled his hair and looked after his hair for years. So he was after this sort of thing. So if you wanted your hairstyle, you'd probably go to a hairdresser and see a hairdresser and that. But now, a lot of the barbers and hairdressers, they don't speak English, they speak Japanese, you know. Their clientele's Japanese, they don't have to speak English, you know. And this guy, I think he had limited Japanese ability. So he showed the barber on what sort of hair, what his hair used to look like, and the barber didn't cut it like that. Whatever, I'm not sure, there was no pictures or anything. So he was pretty distraught. He reckoned he messed it up and everything, and he was depressed now because he had a bad haircut, and he went to school and everyone was pointing at him and laughing at him because he had a botched up haircut, you know. So he's very superficial if he's worrying about a haircut, you know. So anyway, this is the thing. So, you know, and then he was saying, oh, if anyone knows where a good hairdresser, he can get a good haircut, he's willing to pay, you know, 5,000 or 6,000 yen, you know. But, you know, just stupid, you know. So you got these guys, they got no money. You know, he tried to get a haircut on the cheap and it backfired on him. It didn't work. That's how it goes, you know. So, you know, they expect, I think a lot of them expect these barbers and hairdressers to speak English or speak whichever language they come from. It's not the case. A lot of these people, they don't. When we paid the house off, I had to get these papers fixed up from the bank, because when you get a loan, there's an agreement in the loan that if you can't make the payments, they can sell your house. So after you pay the house off, you have to get this agreement taken off. So you have to see a solicitor. I didn't know any solicitors. My friend, he's Japanese, he's got a company in Japan, so I contacted him and asked him, did he know a solicitor, and told him what I needed. Took a photo of the letter and sent to him, so he knew what was going on. So he understood what was going on. He called up his solicitor and made an appointment for us to go see him, and he came with me. And the solicitor was really nice. You know, my friend had explained to him what happened, so I give him all the papers and the letters and all, and he said, okay, you know, no problem. He said, I'll call you when it's ready. It's going to cost you 16,000 yen, which is about 160 bucks Australian, so no problem. And that was on a Monday. On the Friday at lunchtime, he called me and said, it's all finished, you can come pick up everything and pay for it. So I went and picked it up, transferred the money into his bank account from mine, and it was all done. It was too easy, you know, and they were really nice, but they spoke no English at all, you know. And, you know, that sort of Japanese is really difficult, you know, because I knew nothing about this sort of thing. So, you know, my friend had explained to him what was going on. You know, he's Japanese, he had explained to him what was going on. So it was fine, you know, we had no problem. So, you know, like, if you don't know what's going on, take someone with you who speaks Japanese and can explain to them what's going on, you know. But just going to a hairdresser or a barber and wanting to have your hair cut and saying, okay, here, this is what it looked like, cut it like this, you know, and the guy's got no idea what you're talking about, you know. And barbers, they're just used to cutting guys' hairs, you know, they just normal Japanese style haircut. Me, I just use clippers and just sort of run them over my hair myself at either a 5 mil or a 3 mil, depending on how hot it is. But this is a problem. So this is why a lot of people are so disheartened with Japan and complain a lot about Japan. They've just got no money. They've got no money to do anything. So this is the main problem, you know, like they come over here and, you know, they get a job on the internet or something. Oh yeah, you know, wow, that's good. It's going to be great. And they come here and it's not like they thought. They're earning crap, you know. But if they got off their bum and went around, they could probably pick up some extra work on the side and make a bit of extra money and support themselves a bit better. But they don't. They'd rather complain about, you know, how they can't survive in Japan, and, you know, it's bad service and people don't speak English and all this blah, 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 you know, all this nonsense. So 90% of it is just nonsense. They're just really not switched on. They're living in a dream world, you know. Now you think about it. Let's say you're a hairdresser in your country and you have a Japanese person comes to get a haircut. They can't speak English, or they can't speak whatever language you speak, and they're talking to you in Japanese. What are you going to do? You know, you got no idea what's going on, and you got no idea what they want. So it's a bit the same. So you have to sort of look at it from both sides of the fence. Because if you just look at it from one way, that, you know, the Japanese are in the wrong, you're really wrong. But yeah, that's why I reckon so many people are really distraught, you know, depressed. This guy was so depressed about his bad haircut. You know, get over it, it's a haircut. You know, so I think the main thing comes down to money. They got no money. Anyway, that's my idea why a lot of people are sort of pretty disheartened about Japan when they come here. All comes down to the bucks. If you haven't got the bucks to live, it makes it hard. If you're living from month to month on cut ramen, yeah, I suppose you're not going to feel too good, but that was their choice. Anyway, till next time, that's all for now. Catch you later.